Anybody who's starting a record label wants to grow their record label as fast as possible. But the problem is a lot of you all are caught up in the sensationalism of just all the flash and flare of what you think a record label should be or how it should be ran. And it's quite contrary to what you see out there. Now, the second problem is a lot of you all don't know how to run these businesses because it is a very volatile business. It just is. Now, because this business is very volatile, a lot of you all are a little bit uneasy about spending that wad of cash you had saved up. Maybe you got $10,000, $20,000, which is enough to do some damage and then eventually get some more cash flow going for yourself. But if you don't know how to spend that money, then we're not in a good place. And it's okay if you are in that place. It's cool. We're going to get you through that so that you can understand how this business should be scaled properly. And that's coming up right here on the Music Money Makeover show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover show. My name is Casey Graham. Let's get some clarity going for you. Check it out. All right, so number one, music money makers, is you want to build a foundation for your cash flow. I don't have to talk about this one much because I do it all the time, but if you're just getting to know me, that is what the 60-day record label course is for that you see in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll talk about that later. But how are you going to have a business that locks in all of its cash flow up in different organizations? That's problem number one. Welcome the money to your pockets. Don't turn it away. So the overarching problem on this issue is everybody shoots for awareness first. I can't tell you how many people have come to me saying, I got millions of streams. I don't understand why I'm not getting this money. And it's usually because they didn't register for the proper accounts. It is as simple as it sounds, as basic as it sounds for everybody. It's not until you get in the driver's seat that you say, oh, all that stuff I heard about, I got to do all that now. Yes, you do. Because if the company does not have cash flow, how are we going to move forward? So inside of this foundation for cash flow, outside of the accounts, there are things like emails that you need to collect so that you can pull money from your fan base. And I did that on another video, so I'm not going to go through that here. In the mix of the accounts, there are other protocols and processes that you need to establish to figure out where you're going to pull your cash flow from so that your business can stay operable. This takes logistics planning. And if you don't do this in the beginning, it's going to be the reason why almost 89%, maybe 90% of all new labels fail because they didn't do proper planning for where the money was going to come from in the first place. And I understand that a lot of you all don't understand this business. I did say it was volatile. And because it's that way, because money is made through royalties, it's a little bit different. I'm going to do another video on that too. This is point one. Let's go to point two. Find your niche. You can't promote a product or personality if you haven't defined the niche. This leads to constant pivoting while building, which leads to failure. You cannot scale an unstable business, period. So why do you think you can be a genreless and incomparable to other signed artists and win? You can't. You must find your niche. A lot of artists, if you're signing artists, I'm speaking to my business people, and they come in and they tell you, hey, I don't just do one genre. I do this, that, and that. They're probably a creative that needs to be on the backside of the game. Because the one that you have to put out in front, the public can't understand genreless music. They can't. The public loves all types of genres. But when they're trying to focus in and listen on one artist and they're over here and they're over there, and you can't switch your product on the public fast. You got to wean them into stuff. So you do have to belong to a base genre, a base niche. And I've been through this before on the channel. There's stuff on here you can go through about that. But you want to whittle it down to this niche that you're going to sit in, because this is going to allow us to do something called scaling. So if we don't find a niche, we got a problem, because the customer is used to boxes. Creatives are used to circles, but when money comes, money has four sides and it's used to a box, and money spins into boxes. It goes from wallets and purses into cash registers, everything that deals with squares. And if they can't figure out, oh, I'm spending money on this, then they're going to be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to listen. You get what I'm saying? So I understand. Once I began to shape genres for the artists I was working in, like, no, let's not do that. That's too here. That we too far over there. Too far over there. Let's get it right here. Let's clean it up. Now we can scale it. Now, target the right market. Demographics are key. You can't go too big and broad if you want to scale. You can go big and broad on finding it. but you can't go big and broad on growing because it leaves you sprawled out trying to grow everywhere. We can't do that. Finding the right market for your niche is key. And a lot of times the market will be built into the niche. I'm just saying. So once you find that market for the niche, we good to go. If we're trying to find 3 markets for 3 different niches, we got a problem because we're new, we're strapped for cash, and we can't promote in all these areas. We're strapped for cash, resources, manpower, time, and all of that. So we got to minimize all of the extra distractions and get to the right market. And your market is really going to be a reflection of you. I've gone through that on this channel before. Now, we want to develop a promotion strategy within that market once we find it. Whether it be physical, digital, or both, what type of mediums will you use? Big question. I don't want to skip over that. What type of mediums will you use? Everybody is not going to use every medium. Everybody is not going to use every single social media network. I barely use TikTok and Instagram, but I'm always on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? And I got my emails. And I'm working on those too. So you must come up with answers to these questions if you want to achieve success with your products as a record label owner. You got to. What mediums are we going to use as a record label owner to promote our product, which is the music? And then we're going to get to like the merch and all that stuff. But are we going to use Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or a combination of all 3? Are we going to use Facebook? Like, how are we going to do this? And then from there, what are we going to put into the medium? What does that marketing product look like going into the medium? How often are we going to do it? Are we going to do anything physical? When will we do this physical thing? You get what I'm saying? So all of that has to be decided. And a lot of times we only focus on the digital, but we forget that there is a physical audience as well. So between all of these 4 steps to grow your label, the foundation for cash flow, which is often overlooked, which is very important, which helps us get our business together, getting into the niche, finding the market for the niche, and then developing the promotion strategy within the market are our 4 key pillars to actually growing the label in the right way. And you may say, Casey, that was so simple. It's simple on paper until you start to figure it out. Now, this seems easier said than done. Realistically, artists will have to study themselves and self-audit themselves to really understand where they stand in the industry. So we got to go back through all of this and audit every one of these particular categories just to figure out our position. Then, should I start marketing and promoting before I start the business? This is where nearly 99% of people come into play in the game. Well, I'm gonna say 95 because there are a lot of people out there who really put a good plan together. Now, though this is how many people start, you'll find that when you start this way, you get lost and start going in circles pretty quickly. This is due to no plan. You should only initiate small marketing and promotions plans for the sake of testing the validity of how good your music is. Let me say it again. You should only initiate small marketing and promotions plans for the sake of testing the validity of how good your music is with the public before spending any serious money. As I get tired of talking to people, I spent $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, and they have nothing to show for it. They did no testing, no planning, no nothing. They just wanted to look like the big dogs. You cannot fake it till you make it with money in this game unless you're going to go broke. You know what I'm saying? This game will take the money straight out of your pocket if you come flaunting it around. You get what I mean? Now, you're taking the fun out of this. If setting yourself up for success is taking the fun out, then you're not meant for this business. Money is fun to spend, but boring to plan for. Sacrifice your desire for fun and switch it out for hard work now. Then you can have all the fun later. So here's what I suggest doing. Jumping into the 60-day record label course that I was talking about earlier, so we can set up the LLC and get the bank accounts and everything tied in for some base level anonymity. So now we have a platform for our cash to flow back to. But then we can be able to collect all that cash into that LLC by applying for all the accounts we need necessary to collect our international and our domestic publishing and record royalties without song trust getting in the way. Yes, I said it. I know how to do that. We've been doing it for years. They're just a new player on the block. And then finally, you need to learn how to play this game if you're going to be in it and scale. Because otherwise, you're just going to get railroaded and ran over and bent over a desk. So you need to understand how this game works via the contracts that I have in store for you within this course. And everything is included in the course that you see right down below as well. All that stuff is covered. If this is your first time watching the channel, grab the free stuff below. It's going to give you some more insight into the course. Now, planning to win, your foundation will be solid. Planning to win, your system will be built for initial cash flow. Planning to win, you'll have a plan for marketing, promoting, and scaling. Planning to win, and you can remove more guesswork than you can believe from your business. But failing to plan causes breakdowns in your future and foundation. Failing to plan increases lack of direction. And failing to plan can lead to halting your musical endeavors 100%. I know this. That happened to me. But I also know this. The 4 methods I gave you today are bulletproof. And they work. You don't want to be here. You want to plan to win. And I got you covered. All right, so if you press the go button prematurely, or you just said, hey, let's just go ahead and start it now and we'll figure out the rest later. Now you know the areas you need to attack with some vengeance to get you back in the game and scaling properly. All right, music money makers. So if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course, download the free stuff below to help yourself out. All right, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.